Where do you start if you want to change the world? Is it by seeing a nation become energy self-sufficient? Helping charities to be as productive as businesses? By using their talents to give them a livelihood? Big changes like these can start with something small, like asking better questions. So where do you start if you want to change the world? You start right here.
Hey, how everybody? How you doing today? Welcome to the Big Chief channel. Today is the 15th of June on a Wednesday evening. How everybody again? Yep. Today we have got a very pretty miss, pretty lady who is famous for her contagious smile. Let's welcome Caroline David.
Thank you, Big
There
Chief, for
you
the lovely
go.
introduction. Good evening,
Ah,
everyone. I hope everybody's doing
here we
fine.
greet people with how.
Oh,
Like that lah. Okay,
cool.
let's get started.
Sure.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
Well, just like Big Chief introduced me, I'm Caroline David, Malaysian, of course, proudly Malaysian. I went to school, like regular school, and after school, I pursued my ACCA qualification. I graduated, thankfully, 1999, and then I went into work, mostly in the commercial line, doing accounts as an accountant. And then around 2009, I moved on to start my own business.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Where
That's
are
me
you
in a
from? Your
nutshell.
hometown and stuff like that lah.
Oh, I am from this little place called Sentul. Have you heard of
Oh,
Sentul, Big Chief?
definitely lah.
Yeah.
They're famous for their fish head.
Yes, and
Yeah.
there's lots of lovely buildings all over.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct,
that's
correct.
where I grew up.
Good. Fantastic. So tell us
Really?
about your. I suppose you went to school there, right?
Yes, I did. I did. So it was in a girls' school. Um, and everything was nearby. When you live in a place like Sentosa, everything is walking distance from your home. You get to go to the market, the wet market, and then we have our school, and we have our places of worship very nearby for all of us, me and my neighbors. So it's practically a very self-sufficient tiny town. Yeah, so that's where I'm from, Big Chief.
Right. So the famous convent center, you're from there?
Yes, yes, I
Ah,
am. Yes, I
great.
am.
Your smile tells it.
Oh wow, okay.
Good.
That's great. That's
Now
great.
let's talk about your tertiary education. Do you do it locally? You go abroad or stuff like that? You did
Oh,
ACCA, right?
okay. Yeah, ACCA even in those days was a qualification which you could pursue fully from where you live, wherever you live. So what I did was I took the part-time route. So I worked and I
Oh,
studied. Yeah, so
okay.
I was a part-time student. Yeah, and yeah, I studied fully locally.
Right. And as far as I know, there's around only around 10% of people who work along with what they study, and you're one of them, right?
Yeah, because
You,
ACCA is like a professional qualification. So if you have no intention of pursuing a career that's related to it, then it is quite a difficult journey. If you want to just study it for the sake of studying. Yeah.
right. So you are a person who is probably good with numbers, and I remember people calling you Doctor Number, right? Number Doctor or something like that, right?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a term that we coin among our friends, our social circles, our close social circles. So basically, I guess it kind of means that we understand the numbers, and we try to help people to understand their numbers. So hence the reference to the doctor in the term.
So generally, what do you do? What are your scopes of work?
Oh,
Not
okay, so yeah, since I went into business, I decided to focus on maintaining accounts for small and medium businesses. So some people can consider themselves or call themselves freelancers. So they just have a relationship with the companies that they work for, and they commit a certain number of hours. But I actually chose to do this business from my own company. So I set up my own company, and I am providing these services to a number of clients from a variety of industries.
right.
So that's what I'm
So
doing right now.
as far as I'm concerned, I mean accountants are professionals, and they should be quite comfortable. And what made you change the whole thing and go and do your own business instead of being employed?
Yeah, okay. So when I was employed, it was pretty valuable because I could actually gain experience and understand the work better. And when I went through it for a number of years, I realized that there's so many people out there who have businesses of their own with so many talents and so many abilities. And the last thing they want to do is take care of their numbers, right? And yet, the numbers are the true indicators of how your business is doing. So a lot of entrepreneurs have a problem trying to see where their business is going because they really don't have the time to look after their numbers when the numbers are actually so important. So when I noticed this, I realized that I could play a big role if I came out on my own, and I could serve way more people in different industries. And when you are in different industries and different businesses, the way you run your business is different, so your numbers will look different. And that's why I went into it, because it's also a challenge for me. It is an adventure for me to learn from entrepreneurs too.
I'm sure it's not like a bowl of candy when you decided to go out full time on your own, right?
Yeah, it was not an easy journey for sure, because I kind of went into it without very much planning, to be honest.
Oh dear.
I just did, yeah, I just did a deep dive. I did a springboard dive, and 10 years later, I am thankful that I made the decision, because it
10 years
has
later, huh?
yeah, I am very.
Why 10 years later? You know,
That's because I am glad that my need to, I because I wanted to help people, and so in the 10 years I can see the journey so far, and the number of friends and clients that I have helped and I'm still helping. So basically, I've really had a journey with them for as long as I've been engaged with my clients, and they've become also my friends. And that's the best part about being in this business. You get to meet a lot of great people.
let's talk about remuneration, right? How
Sure.
long before you are financially comfortable? The moment you took the first step to go out of
Okay.
employment.
Yeah. It took me a while actually, and I had many hiccups along the way. Basically, from client acquisition to sign up, it is not very long, but it is the look searching for the client and landing the project that is the longest time frame. Once you have acquired your client, the process is actually quite quick and smooth, because that's where, I mean, the work starts immediately. And I guess the most challenging part in this line of business is the process of client acquisition.
Mm. So, my question is, how long did it take for you to get comfortable? I mean,
Well, for
to
me, yeah, okay. As I was explaining the process, this took
yeah.
me quite a while, because I did not know the techniques of client acquisition. So it took me quite a while actually. It took me at least about 5 to 6 years
Wow.
to establish myself, um, to a certain extent, actually.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure. Okay, in these 5 or 6 years, there are times where you could have told yourself, I better give up because it's not happening to me fast enough.
Mm.
Did it ever happen to you?
I did not allow myself to get to that point. I just kept trying. I didn't want to go down that path, because I think thoughts have a way of compounding. When you start the ball rolling, it just snowballs. So the best thing I could do was say the same thing over and over again. Try again, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And I focused on building the relationship that I had in my hand, and one thing would lead to another.
Okay, for the interest of our viewers, right?
Yeah.
How many times would you keep trying? I'm sure. What I mean is that you assumption is that you have to keep trying because you have failed. Yeah. So, how many times do you say, should a person say, okay, I'm going to be persistent, I'm going to keep trying no matter how, but there should always, is there a limit to it?
It really depends, because if you just went into it for I guess your why is so important, right? I went in because of wanting to help entrepreneurs. So my goal was, okay, if I knock on a door and it doesn't open for me, I try and knock another door. And so for me, the process was finding ways to find doors. And sometimes I would knock on a door and they would say, yeah, I'll get back to you. And there was one time where I knocked on a door and they were very receptive to my offer, my proposal, and everything died down over the course of 2 weeks
Oh
because there were
dear.
delays. But a year later, when I was least expecting it, I get a call from the same people
Mhm.
I approached, and they actually said to me that I had com- I actually looked through my phone book for your number and I called you because the time has come.
Hmm.
And so sometimes lovely things like that happen in our journeys, and we just gotta have faith. We gotta have faith in ourselves, and we gotta believe that there are so many doors out there, and just keep knocking.
So timing is also very important, right?
True, very very true. I
In
agree.
your in your line, what are the most frustrating incidents?
Well, the most frustrating incidents are when I am unable to get the external team members together to accomplish a goal on time. I do try my best, and so far, to be honest, it has gone pretty smooth because we focus on trying to get things done as much as possible, and not getting angry, or just focusing on the project at hand and not being emotional about the pressures, and the stresses involved. Yeah, so that's quite frustrating for me.
We have approached our halfway mark, okay, and
Oh, okay.
we would like for all the people who just came in, how everybody, and we are talking to Caroline David, a professional accountant, and yep, welcome to people like I see familiar faces like Hong Ki Kyong and Anna Tom, Shari Samsudin, Patricia, Christine. We got Michael Sia, we got Snow, and if I didn't mention your name, it's just that the list is a little bit too long. Yep, and we are
How
talking about
everyone.
we are talking about Caroline's journey to success, right? Now, we have covered her bio data and stuff like that. A Centurica, and she studied accounting, and she studied accountancy, and she's an accountant. Congratulations. Now, the thing is, let's go to during the pandemic, during the lockdown, especially. Uh, did the businesses affect you?
Okay, let me share a secret with you, Big Chief. When I started my business in 2009, right, I truly believed in the outsourcing solution, right? And it was a miracle in disguise when the pandemic started, because I had built my business from 2009, and by the time the pandemic hit in 2020, I've had some years in this outsourcing business. And in outsourcing, you get to use a lot of tools that allow you to accomplish your work remotely as much as possible. So when the pandemic hit, I was really so busy at home. It was business as usual because the accounts still needed to get done, and I had no difference in my business activity because everything had been done remotely in the first place. It's just that now everybody was more amplified in their remote activities, and they were beginning to see what I was offering them since
Right, right,
2009,
right, right.
you know?
So the you're talking about the focus is better where your clients are concerned, right? Did
Well, yeah, my
your
clients was okay because they were able to coordinate with me remotely, and their business, even though it was a little bit affected, somehow they were able to remunerate me as scheduled, and things didn't go so badly, not as badly as I anybody would have expected. So I'm really grateful and thankful.
was there a decline in your income?
Uh, There wasn't, however, there was a
Wow.
slight delay in my cash flow. A slight delay,
Right,
but there
right,
was no
right, right,
decline.
right.
Yeah.
Understood, understand, understand. Now the thing is, in accounting, right, in your field, what is the most important figure? Is it the turnover? Is it the gross profit, the net profit, cash flow, or what?
Well, entrepreneurs tend to automatically look at the net profits, but
Mm,
when we look at the accounts together, I think I try to explain to them that they need to see how they arrived at the gross profit and the net profit so that they understand what happens in their business for the gross profit to appear that way, and how they've been doing managing their business for the net profit to turn up the way it has.
mm.
So for me, as an accountant for my clients, I believe that the components leading to the gross profit and the net profit are far more an important focus, even though the bottom line is the bottom line favorite is of course the sales and the net profit for sure.
Okay, let's not bore the our viewers with
Yes, we don't want anybody to be
jargons,
bored
right?
tonight.
So
Yes.
yeah, but at the end of the day, w- how do you overcome this, or you provide consultancy services as well?
I do. It is part of the value that I package with the service that I provide because I care about the
Oh,
entrepreneur very much. The entrepreneur that I
now
work
I
with,
get it. Now I
I
get it. You
care
are
about them.
successful because you have a unique selling proposition, right?
Yeah, we always try and provide value wherever
So
we go,
your
no matter what
secret,
you do.
what's your secret, if you don't mind
Pro-
sharing?
Value with a smile.
Value with a smile. That's great. No wonder. Uh, on more professional terms, it's called consultancy. Can I call it consultancy?
Yes, there is it's a management consulting.
Right, right,
There's
right.
a
And
lots
how
of
do you
types.
charge? How do you charge?
Well, currently I charge by project, by my work. There's a time cost involved, of course, but sometimes there are areas where I charge based on the pure consulting, which is on a project to project basis, because it's very difficult to discern it in a very. You can't break it down too low. You've got to look at the big picture. So it's a big picture concept, Chief.
Okay, okay. We've got a question from YouTube. You know that we are multi-streaming here. We are
Yeah.
streaming from Facebook and YouTube, and now trying to go into TikTok, and I don't know what.
I think that's brilliant.
Our,
That's
our
brilliant.
back end is handling it now. So
Yeah, sure.
so we've got a question from Aaron Lee. He's asking, what are the common mistakes new entrepreneurs make when they're dealing with accounts or numbers?
Okay. I like this question. Thank you very much, Aaron. I'm so happy I get to answer this question on the show tonight. And so, when we talk about entrepreneurs, right, most of the entrepreneurs are very, very intimidated and very afraid by numbers. That being said, they make the mistake of sometimes not keeping track of their numbers. Either they're not very consistent
Hold on,
in.
hold on, hold on. When you talk about numbers, we get
Mhm.
confused. The
Okay.
layman get confused.
Okay.
What do you mean by the word numbers?
Okay, let's break it down, Big Chief. So, in every business, every transaction is valued in RM, in our case in Malaysia. So, when we talk about numbers, we're talking about the transactions that,
Okay, when you say okay, I mean you got to treat us like newbies, right?
sure.
Even when you talk about transaction, what transaction are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about sales, we're talking about purchases, we're talking about paying rentals and electricity and
Or
water and stuff like that.
could I say that transaction means money coming in and out?
Yes, that's a
Oh,
great way
okay,
of
okay,
putting it,
okay, okay.
Big
Got it,
Chief.
got it, got it.
Yeah, so cash flow activity, right? So money coming in and money coming out. The number doctors and the accountants normally call them cash flow activities, right? So a lot of the new entrepreneurs, they fail to keep track of a lot of things, especially now with online banking. Uh, they forget to download their transfer slips, and they don't keep their bills carefully, and stuff like that. So and also the other thing is not understanding what impact their activities have on their business. Like, for example, when you're a new entrepreneur and you need money to go to the mama, what do, Big Chief? You just take it out from your cash box, right? You just take it out from your business account, right? Yeah, but you see, there's an impact to what you do, and a lot of new entrepreneurs don't realize that in accounting terms, just taking out money to go to the mama needs to be recorded, and there's a special way of recording it, and they look at the results at the end of the day and say, what, I lost so much of money. So a lot of miscommunication happens between the entrepreneur and their money.
Okay, we got a question from Anne and Tom, and she says that certainly need our number doctor to simplify and make things easier to understand.
Yeah,
Meaning to
we try
say,
to do that. We do try
yeah,
to do that.
we've got another. Oh, this is a cheeky thing, cheeky question from Aaron Lee again from YouTube. Is there any tips to have a big smile like yours?
Yeah, brush your
You have
teeth,
the right
man.
not to answer this.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. You have a pretty good smile too.
Okay, probably we take it as a joke. And okay, the what happens when you are employed by a company that does not have a good record of their numbers?
Yeah, sometimes we have to dig the bin. It's like an expression where you have to go back to your trash can and your trash bins and look for stuff that you did a long time ago. And I'm thinking about taking up a skill like hypnosis to help the entrepreneurs remember their past activities, to help me finish the accounts more easily. So yeah, Aaron, I hope that kind of gives an insight to your question. There's a lot of investigative
Okay,
processes.
I'm going to throw you what we call as curveball.
Sure.
Yeah, because we are almost heading towards the end of the show, and you see the thing about uh, any profession is that the the community will assume that one can only get good in his or her profession only by theory. Now, my question to you is that apart from your education on the subject matter, which is accounting, what other educational tools or subjects do you think is important in your business?
You'll be surprised, Big Chief. I think communications is very important. Public
Communication, huh?
relations, yeah, communications. Just like when we were having a chat just now, you needed me to explain things in layman terms. So
Yeah.
being able to listen to the client express their lack of understanding is important for an accountant, you know. We don't just present what we find, we need to speak to them in their language. And we have uh, entrepreneurs from many different lines of thought. You know, we have the logical entrepreneur, and we have the creative entrepreneur, and we have the crazy scientists out there. So we need to be able to speak their language, and I think communication is super important.
I think you have hit the nail on the head because I think most of the time, uh, entrepreneurs, especially SME owners and stuff like that, they are afraid to engage accountants because they feel intimidated because they may be intimidated by the jargons, by the complications and stuff like that. And I mean, generally, accountants would we feel that accountants are making things complicated and a little bit kacau for them.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
Actually, well, I think accountants are very misunderstood bunch. They try their best. But like I say, you know, communication is so important. Sometimes it's not our fault. We
Right,
don't
right,
even
right.
realize, right, that we're making
Yeah.
them uncomfortable. And so that's why I came out on my own, because I believe that I'd like to be able to reach out and bridge this gap. So I do have a
Right.
dream. Yeah, I do have a dream that maybe someday I'll be able to help entrepreneurs with financial literacy, with maybe the Number Doctors Business School, you know, or
Wow. That's
something
great.
fun like that, you know, that will
All
help.
the best to your dreams, man. Achievement
Yeah,
of
yeah,
dreams.
Big Chief, you're most welcome to join me, you know.
Oh,
So we can help the
for your
entrepreneurs
information, I,
together.
I did study accounting, so
Yeah.
more or
So
less
you
I
know
know
what I
what you're
mean?
talking about. But this show is more for the viewers, right? Out there. Now we have reached the end of our session, and before we go, how could you conclude? What advice would you give to probably uh, youngsters, our children, our grandchildren, and stuff like
Wow.
that towards
That's a that's a very high call, you know. There's a very high demand, you know, there. But yeah, I do have a few things I just want to share on the off the top of my head, right? So the first is, to all the young people out there and everybody listening in, take time to get to know yourself. You got to identify your gifts. You got to identify the skills that you have. Got to identify your talents and work on your strengths. You know, you can develop your career by following your skill sets and your strengths, you know, on the right path, and find the fulfillment that you're looking for. That's one. Another one is, of course, please do make sure you live a balanced life. Make time for your work, your play, your fun, your rest. Yeah, and begin with the end in mind. I believe it was you who shared that with me. It's a quote from a famous book, James Allen, I believe. Begin
no
with the end in
beginning.
mind.
That's not that's by uh, this Seven Habits.
Yeah, Norman Vincent Peale,
No, what's the
Stephen
person?
Covey, was
Yeah,
it?
correct. Stephen Covey's book.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Anyway, let's find out from the viewers, right? If you are interested in getting to know more about accountancy, okay, the profession and of an accountant, what is accountancy and stuff like that, and you want to request for Caroline David to come in, can you please type 888? Yeah, can you type 888? And if you get a lot of 888s, then Carol, you got to come back and help us again.
Sure.
Yep, I've already seen some 888s around. And good, good, good. So, Carol, you are wanted. Would you be kind enough uh, to appear again in our Big Chief channel?
With pleasure.
Yeah, with pleasure. Well done. Come on, let's give Caroline David a clap, man. Come on, or a thumbs
Thank
up.
you. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys
Yep.
taking your Wednesday evening to be here with us.
Yeah, with that, I've got to say bye bye and how. And until we meet again, thank you. We appreciate each and every one of you who viewed this episode. I had fun. Carol, I think you had fun too. And
Yep.
we are the Big Chief channel that brings you knowledge and skills every weekdays, 8:30 p.m. Do like and share this channel with your loved one. See you soon.
Good night,
How?
everyone.
Good
How?
night.